A very good day to everyone. I am Fazura binti Rashid, a Senior Accountant and Chief Accounting Executive of DutaLand Berhad. This meeting is arranged to discuss further detail on DutaLand Berhad segment reporting and interim reporting with guidelines from Malaysia Financing Reporting Standards. I will present the first part of FAR570 segmental reporting. Since everyone is here, I would like each member to introduce themselves first. Please state your name, job title, and why are you here today.
Hi everyone, my name is Nura Batisha binti Iswandi and I'm the Senior Executive Accounting for DutaLand Berhad.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Akmal Hafizuddin bin Azwar and I am Junior Accounting Executive of DutaLand Berhad. I will present the first part of FRS 134, which is interim reporting.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi, my name is Muhammad Isham bin Zulkifli and I am the Senior Accounting Executive of the DutaLand Berhad and I will continue the presentation on the MFRS 134, which is the accounting policies.
Thank you so much everyone. We will begin our presentation with FAR570 segmental reporting. First and foremost, I will share a little bit of this company background. Our company is incorporated in 1967. DutaLand Berhad is an investment holding firm active in oil palm and real estate industries. DutaLand Berhad is also listed in the main board of Bursa Malaysia for its three segments: oil palm plantation, property development, and investment holding. The company headquarters is in Menara Olympia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, along with its other subsidiaries company. Next, I'm going to explain the management approach used by DutaLand Berhad from the perspective of factors to consider having a segment reporting. There are three factors to be considered. The first one is the nature of the business activity. As I explained earlier, DutaLand Berhad is engaged in oil palm and real estate industry through three key business pillars, which is oil palm plantation, property development, and investment holding. The second factor is the existence of managers responsible for the activities. DutaLand Berhad is known as one of the largest development groups in Malaysia. Therefore, our segment is managed by their own manager who are responsible for their overall strategy, growth, and profitability of discipline across the region. Last but not least will be the information presented to the Board of Directors. The Chief Operating Decision Maker may refer to the reports evaluated by the Board of Directors since it includes valuable information about the company performance and growth. There are three types of segment, which are property development, plantation, CPO trading, and investment holding. The DutaLand were involved in property development of residential and commercial properties. We have developed few infamous luxurious housing areas such as Kenny Heights Estate in Mount Kiara, Kuala Lumpur, and Auckland Commercial Centre in Seremban that provide elite neighbourhood area and urban living environment to our residents. Next is plantation. The plantation segment is engaged in oil palm cultivation and the sale of fresh fruit branches, FFB. Third segment is commodity trading, engaged in trading crude palm cultivation, CPO, and other commodities. The last segment is investment holding. We integrate sustainability issues into our investment criteria and invest or develop and manage projects in line with our sustainability goals. We include materials factor in our fundamental analysis as part of our integrative investment approach. Our investment also employ sustainable investing strategies such as eliminating companies or investment that violate set norms or selecting companies or investment with solid ESG performance.
Moving on to the next slide, every company has a CODM. But what is CODM? CODM or stand for Chief of Decision Making is actually a function and not necessarily a person. That function is to allocate resources and assess the performance of the operating segment of an entity. The CODM could be the Chief Executive Officer or CEO. CODM holds a very huge responsibility in a company. They are responsible for the day-to-day operation, responsible for proposing and develop company strategy, to make a decision about allocations of overall resources and assessing their performance, and ensuring executive teams give appropriate priority to provide reports.
Yang Amat Mulia Tengku Datuk Seri Ahmad Shah Ibni Almarhum Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah was appointed to the board on 25 February 2009 as an independent non-executive director and subsequently redesignated as the chairman of DutaLand Berhad on 23 November 2010. Yang Amat Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Yap Yang Seong was appointed to the Board of Director of DutaLand Berhad on 16 February 1993 as Group Managing Director and Non-Independent Director. The other non-independent executive directors are Datuk Yap Wee Chun and Datuk Sri Yap Wee Kiat. We also have 3 independent non-executive directors, which are Datuk Hazli bin Ibrahim, Datuk Abdul Majid bin Ahmad Han, and Datuk Oi Woon Chi.
Thank you, Ms. Uya. I will present the next part of this presentation in MFRS 8 segmental reporting. So, let's continue to our next slide, that is reportable segments. To identify whether it is a reportable or non-reportable, we need to do a 10% threshold test. Not all operating segments need to be reported separately, but only the one that exceeded the quantitative threshold. There are 3 ways to identify it as stated under MFRS 8 operating segment, which are the reported revenue from both external customer and inter-segment sales or transfer is 10% or more of the combined revenue, internal and external, of all operating. Second, the absolute amount of segment reported profit or loss is 10% or more of the greater of the combined reported profit of all operating segment, or the combined less of all segment reporting losses. Lastly, the assets are 10% more of the combined asset of all operating segment. Next, additional factor in identifying reportable segments. There are 2 additional factors in identifying reportable segment. The first one is if the total revenue reported by operating segment is less than 75% of the entity revenue, the additional operating segment must be identified as reportable segment until at least 75% of the entity's revenue is included in reportable segment. And the second one is the operating segment that do not meet the quantitative threshold can be combined with other similar segment to produce the reportable segment only if the operating segment have similar economic characteristics and share the aggregation criteria. For the calculation of 10% threshold for DutaLand Berhad, there are 4 segments that need to be calculated, that is property development, plantation, CPO trading, and investment holding. My group and I chose the revenue method to calculate the 10% threshold. After we calculate using the formula total of external and internal segment divided with total revenue, we can conclude that only CPO trading and investment holding is a reportable segment. In this slide, we can see that my group has calculated for the property development, plantation, CPO trading, and investment holding and holding. We can conclude that only 2 reportable segments, that is CPO trading and investment holding. Next is the calculation of 75% threshold test, where the combined external revenue of the identified reportable segment must be at least 75% of the total revenue of the entity. If the amount is less than 75%, more segments must be identified as reportable segment even though they fail the 10% threshold test. For DutaLand Berhad, since it's more than 75%, which is 98.29%, we do not need to add any non-reportable segment. So, the conclusion. Segmental reporting is very important for an organization in many ways, such as better comprehend the company's performance, better evaluate the financial reports for the manager's perspective, and make more informed judgment about the company as a whole. Every method has their own advantage and disadvantage. So firstly, I will talk about advantage of reporting segmental. First, assist the potential investor in better investment decision. So they can examine, analyze, and decide upon the investment in the organization of DutaLand Berhad. Second, it helps in the optimum utilization of resources and better presentation. The financial statement users are able to better understand the variance that may affect overall performance and numbers. Thirdly, to analyze the most profitable or loss-making units. The company can disclose which categories of business are profitable and which are drained on the bottom line. So now I'm going to talk about the disadvantage of reporting segmental. Firstly, it is time-consuming process due to many disclosure required in this case of segmental reporting. So many workers need to identify the 10% threshold, identify the 75% threshold before required to disclose it for the reporting segmental. Second, the data presented can be misinterpreted by the investor or the creditor. External users may have difficulty in understanding in investment decision making, so they might end up making the bad choice, the bad move for investment due to this the disclosure of many in the reporting annual year. And lastly, the base of segmentation is also different. Segment can be created in a variety of ways depending on the segmentation base. Due to we have a lot of segmentation category, so there's a lot of things that can be localized or the similarities of other segments. So I will pass this presentation to the next presenter to present in MFRS 134. Thank you.
For basis of preparation, DutaLand Berhad's financial statements are prepared in accordance to MFRS, IFRS, and Companies Act 2016. The financial statements are recorded under historical cost basis, except when disclosed. The financial statement are presented in RM and rounded up to the nearest 1,000 ringgit. As at 1 July 2021, DutaLand Berhad have adopted new MFRS and make a new amendments to MFRS issued by MASB as follows. The first one is amendments to MFRS 9, which is interest rate benchmark reform, which is in phase 2. The second one is they make a new amendments, which is MFRS 139, MFRS 7, MFRS 4, and MFRS 16. And the third one is amendments to MFRS 16, which is COVID-19 related rent concessions beyond 30 June 2021. Next one is accounting policies. First one is MFRS 140, which is investment property. DutaLand Berhad investment property initially measured at cost, including transaction cost. It is measured at fair value, which reflects market condition at reporting date. DutaLand Berhad use comparison method considering recent market transactions for the similar properties in the same location. The gain or loss from changes of fair value will be included in DutaLand Berhad's profit or loss for the year. And if there are any subsequent measurement, it will only include only if it is probable to receive future economic benefits and the cost can be measured reliably. And lastly, all other repair and maintenance are recognized in profit or loss. Next accounting policies is MFRS 16, which is leases. As a lessor, DutaLand Berhad determines whether each list is finance list or operating list at list inception. The gain or loss from changes of fair value will include it in profit or loss for the year. As for operating list, DutaLand Berhad will classify any list as operating list if it does not transfer substantially all the risks and rewards. The list payment received under operating list will be recognized as list income on a straight line basis.
For the right of use of asset, it contains building and motor vehicle, and it will measure at cost less accumulated depreciation, impairment loss, and any adjusted remeasurement. And for the right of use of asset, it will subject to the impairment. For the lease liability, the amount is increased to reflect accretion of interest and reduced for the lease payment made. And the carrying amount is remeasured if there is modification or reassessment. Next type of interim report. There are several types of interim report, which are the statement of comprehensive income, consolidated statement of financial position, notes to the financial statement, statement of the financial position, consolidated statement of changes in equity, and last but not least, statement of changes in equities. For the report quarterly of the DutaLand Berhad, there are 4 quarters. For the first quarter, begin from the July until September. For the second quarter, begin from the October until December. For the third quarter, the date begin from the January until March. And for the last quarter, which is the fourth quarter, the date begin from the April until the June. Operative of each statement prepared by the company. The first statement is the financial position. The current period started from 1 July 2022 until 30th September 2022, and for the comparative period, the date started from 1 April 2022 until 30th June 2022. Next, for the statement profit and loss and comprehensive income, the current period started from 1 July 2022 until 30th September 2022, and for the comparative period, the date started from 1 July 2021 until 30th September 2021. Next, for the statement of changes in equities, the current period started for 1 July 2022 until 30th September 2022. For the comparative period, the date began from 1 July 2021 until 30th September 2021. And last but not least, for the statement of cash flow, the current period began from 1 July 2022 until 30th September 2022. And for the comparative period, the date began from 1 July 2022 until 30th September 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Hisham. With that, we will end our presentation. I think we have covered everything on the list. Thank you so much for everyone's cooperation. Please do contact us if you have any question. Thank you and have a nice day.